I was the guy that lost his breath for the first 4 years. And anyway, my concern is, I'd love for TVA to come by and pay me today. I think everybody in this room has got all this uncertainty about how long do we expect we do an individual, mass tort, class action, whatever the case might be. What kind of time frame? They can't debate, no jury in the world can debate the fact that you're naked. Okay? How long is it going to take to prove those damages? I know you've got to compile data from a lot of people. Give us the time frame if you can on when we might expect some kind of resolution, because my problem is, if I get $2 million, if I'm dead and I can't, recover my money, what good has it done me? Or it's caused enough damage for me to live out there, because we are so close to that, and I am concerned about this, the dust, the debris in the air. I'm concerned about all that.
I don't think there's any way to answer that. It doesn't, if we're going to do it, we say tomorrow. It depends on two things: the management of TVA and what they're willing to do, and the lawyers they choose, which is a big factor is in which outfit they hire. Ben and I are against a law firm that is known for stretching things out and billing as much as they can. There's another firm that represents coal companies that does what I think is a good job for the coal companies. They assess the problem and they try to solve it. And they try to give you money. Or they try to change the behavior, or they do whatever they have to do. Other law firms will fight forever. It could very well, and I think what Van said, in 4 years you're not going to have it picked up, means there's going to be litigation, but also it's going to take a long time to clean this up. And I don't think we understand what the complete effect, environmental effect of what happened is yet. But I don't think we can say that it's going to take 10 years, 2 years, 1 year. But if we fight it all the way, I guarantee it, I think everybody would agree, it's going to take more than one, and it's probably going to take more than two if they fight us the whole way. If they want to settle with us, Jamie can go out and sign the papers tomorrow. But it just depends on what they want to do. I mean, we're all going to be trying to fight and attack them as fast as we can.
They have their own lawyers, and they can also ask the government, the Department of Justice, to represent them. So that may be one of the issues. But one of the things that I agree, we can't answer that question. And one of the problems with going out and signing the papers tomorrow is that you may be releasing your right to any claim, but not really have an understanding of what has happened and what your claims would be. So I agree, it's in everybody's interest to get this resolved as early as possible, but it's in your interest in particular to make sure it's done with a complete knowledge and a complete understanding of how your rights have been impacted and what you're getting and what you're giving up in return for what you are getting.
If my case is an individual, okay, and there's going to be a lot of people that are sued happy, and anyway, I'm not even going to talk about the previous lawsuit. But there's going to be people, you talked about hitting the nail on the head or the rock and it ripples out. There's going to be people coming out of the woodwork.
If you have not opted out of the class and you are part of a class, that would not be an option.
Right.
But if you are a member of a joint lawsuit where you're a plaintiff with other people, or if you have your individual lawsuit, it is always an option to settle some and not all. And that's part of the reason why Gary and I felt that even if we could get by on the law of a class, we did not think a class was appropriate in this situation. There are many people who have very immediate needs, children who are ill, elderly who need to get out of the situation, people who have been transferred from their jobs. These are the kind of people that are our clients already. One guy's been transferred to Texas and needs to sell his home immediately and is never going to get any value. And another one has 2 mortgages that they're paying because they already bought another house and they had this one on the market. Those people need to move fast. Health issue people need to move fast. It may be that after we get some preliminary testing for medical, that we need to file an immediate injunction in court on behalf of you or your family or somebody else's or maybe the whole group to say they've got to move you out right away. They've got to find you alternative housing because there is a problem here that is impacting health too dramatically. There's so much you can do on an individual case-by-case basis, and I would much rather represent individuals than represent class. That's my personal preference. I prefer representing people rather than numbers. And that's what I generally do.
A couple more questions. Your hand
My
up,
main concern is getting all that cleaned up.
And
That's,
what about the downstream effect on aquatic life? I mean, that's
I
something
want
nobody's
back
talking
to
about.
normal.
I mean,
That's what our federal cases do. That's why when we do our notice of intent to sue, we're going under the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. We're going under the Comprehensive Environmental Response Compensation and Liability Act. We're going under the Emergency Response and Community Right to Know Act. And we're going under the Clean Water Act. We're putting the government on notice, as you have to do, to give them 60 days and 90 days to get a plan that's acceptable, approved, or you as citizens have the right to go after the federal government under these federal acts, or go after TVA under these federal acts, in order to get them to clean up.
And to be clear, I don't think many people heard the question. He said his primary concern is to get this muck cleaned up. That was what she was responding to, her question.
Earlier, I talked about the fact that TVA is trying to go in and settle with people, and I understand everybody needs, you need a place to live, you need money to go somewhere else, probably, if your house is, covered in sludge, or even if you're near the sludge. So I understand the urgency in making some kind of resolution like that. But what he's saying is he wants this cleaned up, and if TVA can settle with enough people, they're going to be less likely to be inclined to do that.
As we all saw in the news, clean up, maybe just spray paint it with grass to walk away. That's what a lot of people are saying they're afraid
Back
of.
to normal.
Yeah, I can see it, walk away.
There's some things on an environmental basis, if you're going to be there, that you might want to think about. And water, of course, they say water it down. If you're going to be watering down sludge to keep it from drying out and blowing on you, if you put soap in your spraying, whatever you're spraying it with, Dawn soap is going to help hold it down because it's fat soluble and it'll hold it down better than just water. If you can't go anywhere else and you're going to be there and it starts drying out, you need to do something to protect yourself. Get HEPA filters. You've got to get HEPA filters. The water that's coming into your public water supply, according to the Tennessean, has thallium in it. Thallium is probably not even anything to do with this, but it might, just the fact that they're doing research and testing your water might alert you to the fact that that might be coming out of Oak Ridge. That's radioactive stuff. I mean, thallium is something that you should be concerned about in your drinking water. An ionic filter is probably the only way that I know of to get thallium out of your water. Keeping your door shut and the HEPA filters on. And I don't
see, the
know.
majority of the people here are probably further away from the spill than they are right next to it, and that's what I wonder if we get confused on. Yeah, the TVA is going to settle with those 10, 12, 20, 40 houses that got affected, but a lot of people
Oh, that
are
air's
further
blowing,
away.
that ash is blowing a whole lot further than that, just right there.
I mean, ashes is a small part of the problem.
Well,
That's just one portion.
One thing you need is medical monitoring.
There's some claims, like I said, that are good for class actions. Medical monitoring is very good for a class action because everybody who's in some vicinity, has been impacted the same way, and it's easy to go to a court and say, Judge, these people should all be tested. They should get regular urinalysis. They should get regular blood work. And we can do that on a class-wide basis. That's easy to do. Another claim that's generally tried on a class-wide basis is the property value claim. It's easy to calculate that on a community or a vicinity-wide basis. Generally, it may not be in this case. There may be some properties that the value is zero. There may be some where it's impacted a little bit less. But that can also be calculated generally in a class action.
Okay, with that, these attorneys will be here if you all have individual questions. I think we could talk about class actions versus individual suits all night long. I know you all are tired, hungry.